Biker Dad.
All right, I am joined now by Jesse Crossan, who has a particularly appropriate name since he's been crossing the country on a tiny little trail bike for quite some time. 90,000 miles on vintage Honda 90s, I believe. Jesse, thanks for joining us. First off, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So my friend Mike Wally ran into you down at Bob's Downtown Diner and took a picture and shared it, and it kind of went viral. And that's how I found out about it. I'm always on the hunt for stories, but apparently I have friends who are on the hunt for those stories now too. So first of all, just tell us who you are and where you live and all of that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm from North Carolina, and I've been, my office closed down at the beginning of 2020 in like March. And then, so I was working from home, and then, my marriage started to fall apart, and we sold the house, and I was like, what am I going to do? But I just wanted to try something, and I thought, I'll just go out and hit the road and like see how far I get. And then I kind of set the goal of going around the country and managed to do that. It was only 9,000 miles, not 90,000, but.
I'm sorry, yeah, I knew that. I misspoke. 9,000 miles. It kind of is one of these things where your life kind of wasn't going the way it was, and you chose to pick a motorcycle as your wind therapy. Tell me a little bit about that, how that helps.
It's just this total awareness, not letting your mind drift or daydreaming or anything like that. And so I really got over my driving anxiety, and also just it was like after riding a motorcycle for hours, I would feel amazing. What I say is like small bike, big adventure, sure, you could buy like a, GS 1200 and go from Alaska to Argentina, but you could also like unicycle across Alabama. And the question is, which one is giving you more adventure per dollar, right? Like obviously the unicycle. There's definitely times when it was like, it was tough going, like, just say, getting across West Texas or something, with the wind, I notice all the windmills are pointing the same direction as me, and I'm like, uh-oh. But honestly, I would say it comes down to more like the mental factors. I mean, physically, like, I would get cold, but that's just because I didn't have a windshield. Sometimes like my butt would start hurting, but it's like, I felt like I took that as a reminder to stop.
So that's the toughest part. What was the coolest thing that you saw?
I had a really great experience hanging out with some people. I actually broke down in the middle of the San Carlos Apache Reservation in Arizona. And I was like at this gas station, this little tiny gas station, and I smelled this weird, I stopped, I filled up. I smelled this weird smell. I was like, what is that? And I couldn't figure it out. And then I couldn't start the bike. And I was like, wait a second, maybe that's me. And I'd put this lithium-ion battery in there, which was a dumb idea. And it was just like smoking and melting, and luckily it didn't damage anything else. I pulled it out. But I wound up spending the night like in the parking lot, literally like in a parking spot, camping at this gas station, and just met all these amazing people. It was all like tribal folks, like getting gas or food or whatever. And lots of people offered me food. They offered me money. I was like, I'm good, thank you. I just need a battery. And the next day, this guy gave me a ride into Globe, and we picked up a battery from the hardware store. I wouldn't have planned that experience, but it was a really cool one. So it was like one of the worst times and the best times at the same time, because at first I was like, oh no, I can't go anywhere without a battery, and trying to figure out what to do about it. And my plan is actually to switch to walking. So I'm planning on starting on the American Discovery Trail, which is a coast-to-coast trail system. It's kind of a conglomeration of other trail systems, but it goes from Delaware to the Bay Area.
Well, awesome story, and I'm glad you made it through the whole thing safely and had some adventures along the way. And we'll be keeping track of your walking trip too, even though it doesn't have to do with motorcycles. But I'm interested to see how that goes too. So again, thanks again to Jesse Crossan, who's been crossing the country. That should be your Facebook page, by the way. Crossing the country, or crossing the divide, or I don't know, whatever. Anyway, thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you.
And we'll keep track of your adventures.
All right.
Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
Stay safe.
Biker Dad.